When two of C Entertainment's most striking faces finally appear in the same frame, the question is no longer who is more handsome, but how beauty itself is being redefined. Song Weilong and Zhang Linghe's recent side-by-side appearance immediately reignited long-standing discussions about visual authority in Chinese entertainment. Online debates quickly resurfaced, echoing a familiar comparison: Zhang Linghe up close, Song Weilong from afar. Yet beyond surface-level fan arguments, their shared moment reveals something far more interesting about how audiences perceive male aesthetics today. Both actors belong to the category often described as strong featured visuals, but their appeal operates on fundamentally different wavelengths. Song Weilong's face carries a sense of breadth and structure that reads powerfully in wide shots. His bone structure is clean and prominent, with sharp lines that hold their impact even from a distance. This is why his presence often dominates large-scale scenes, red carpets, and cinematic frames. His visuals do not fade when the camera pulls back. Zhang Linghe, on the other hand, thrives in closer perspectives. His features are more refined, with softer transitions between lines and a balance that becomes increasingly striking in medium and close-up shots. When the camera lingers, subtle details, his eyes, facial proportions, and expressions, create a sense of intimacy that draws viewers in. This contrast is precisely why the near versus far comparison has gained traction rather than faded over time. What makes their recent joint appearance particularly compelling is that it removes the need to rank one above the other. Standing together, their differences do not cancel each other out. Instead, they highlight how diverse male beauty has become in C entertainment. The industry is no longer confined to a single dominant visual template. Instead, it allows multiple styles to coexist, each with its own authority. This shift is also reflected in their career trajectories. Song Weilong has consistently been associated with roles that emphasize scale, presence, and a certain cool distance, characters that feel larger than life. His visuals support narratives that rely on atmosphere and visual impact. Zhang Linghe's recent projects, by contrast, often lean into emotional nuance and character-driven storytelling, where close framing and expressive detail play a crucial role. Importantly, neither actor's success diminishes the others. Their popularity runs in parallel, not in competition. Recent data on project anticipation and promotional engagement suggests that audiences are equally willing to invest in both styles of appeal. Rather than fighting for the same space, they expand it, broadening what leading man visuals can look like in modern Chinese dramas. This evolution also signals a change in audience maturity. Viewers are no longer asking for a single most handsome standard. Instead, they are learning to appreciate how different faces serve different narratives. A face that dominates a wide shot may not necessarily outperform one that excels in emotional close-ups, and vice versa. Context now matters more than hierarchy. The phrase near Zhang Linghe, far Song Weilong ultimately says less about who is superior and more about how visual storytelling works. Camera distance, lighting, styling, and narrative tone all interact with an actor's features in unique ways. When understood this way, the comparison stops being a rivalry and becomes a lens for appreciating craft, both in performance and in visual design. In the end, Song Weilong and Zhang Linghe standing together is not a clash of visual authority, but a confirmation of diversity. Their shared frame quietly underscores a broader industry truth: C entertainment no longer crowns one definitive standard of beauty. Instead, it embraces plurality, allowing different aesthetics to shine under different lights, at different distances, and for different stories. And perhaps that is why this comparison refuses to fade, because it is no longer about choosing sides, but about recognizing how far the industry's visual language has evolved. Another interesting layer to this comparison lies in how styling and temperament amplify each actor's natural strengths. In recent public appearances, Song Weilong often gravitates toward structured silhouettes, leather, sharp tailoring, and darker palettes that reinforce his strong bone structure and commanding aura. These choices are not accidental, they align perfectly with a visual identity built around impact and distance. Even in minimalist styling, his presence remains unmistakably bold. Zhang Linghe's styling, by contrast, tends to favor clean lines and softer textures that allow his facial details to take center stage. His looks rarely overpower his features, instead, they frame them. This approach enhances his advantage in closer shots, where subtle expressions and micro-emotions matter most. The result is a visual impression that feels approachable, refined, and emotionally resonant. What makes this especially notable is that neither approach feels outdated or one-dimensional. In an earlier era of entertainment, the industry often pushed a single aesthetic trend until audiences grew fatigued. Today, however, Song Weilong and Zhang Linghe represent two simultaneously accepted answers to the same question: what does a leading man look like? The fact that both receive strong market response suggests that the audience is no longer searching for a singular ideal. From a production standpoint, this diversity offers creators greater flexibility. Casting decisions are no longer limited to who fits a narrow visual mold, but who best complements a story's emotional and visual language. A grand, cinematic narrative may naturally lean towards someone like Song Weilong, while an intimate, character-driven drama may benefit from Zhang Linghe's strengths. Neither choice is superior, only more suitable. Ultimately, their same frame appearance does not settle the debate, it reframes it. The discussion shifts from competition to coexistence, from ranking to recognition. In that sense, the continued popularity of the near versus far comparison is not a sign of unresolved rivalry, but evidence of an industry, and an audience, that has learned to appreciate nuance. And perhaps that is the most telling takeaway: when visual authority can take multiple forms, the real winner is not one actor over another, but the evolving landscape of entertainment itself. Thanks for watching Cbiz News. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for your daily fix of Chinese entertainment. See you in the next video.